Alpine F1 team, better known as BWT Alpine for sponsorship, is basically Renault's Formula One outfit with a new name and new attitude. The team started racing under the Alpine badge in 2021, but its roots go way back. You see, the Enstone factory in England has produced F1 cars for decades under names like Benetton, Renault and Lotus. Renault just rebranded it to Alpine to push their performance brand and give the team a fresher, sportier identity. Alpine runs as Renault's official works team, meaning they use Renault-built engines from their base in Viry-Châtillon, France, while car design and race operations happen in Enstone, UK. When the switch to Alpine happened, Renault also shook up leadership. Cyril Abiteboul left, Laurent Rossi came in as CEO, and Marcin Budkowski took over daily operations in Enstone. Davide Brivio joined as racing director after leading Suzuki to a MotoGP championship, bringing fresh racing experience to F1, before he parted ways in 2023. On the technical side, things stayed stable. Pat Fry handled the chassis work in Enstone, but he now works for Williams, and Remy Taffin continued leading engine development in Viry, but he too left in 2021. The team's goal was to turn Renault's steady midfield presence into something sharper, faster, and more competitive under a new identity. And I reckon they plan to do that with their current drivers Pierre Gasly and Franco Colapinto. Aston Martin. This team first showed up in 1959 with the DBR4, a car that looked beautiful but was completely outclassed. They built their own engines, but in the 1959 and 1960 seasons, they didn't score a single point. After that, they quietly pulled out and went back to making road cars. Fast forward 60 years, and Aston Martin is back as the rebranded version of Racing Point F1 team. When billionaire Lawrence Stroll bought a big stake in Aston Martin, he renamed his F1 team to match the iconic brand. The team's base stayed in Silverstone, and the structure from Racing Point remained intact. They kept running Mercedes power units and gearboxes, keeping the technical partnership that had already proven competitive. The return officially began in 2021 under the name Aston Martin Aramco F1 Team, with the drivers being Lance Stroll, Lawrence's son, and two-time world champion Fernando Alonso. By 2026, Aston Martin will switch from Mercedes to Honda engines, creating a new works partnership. Haas F1 Team. This team is America's modern shot at Formula One glory. Founded by Gene Haas in 2014, the team made its debut in 2016 and instantly stood out as a US-licensed team with Ferrari engineering support and NASCAR-style efficiency. Haas is based in Kannapolis, North Carolina, sharing a campus with Haas's NASCAR operation, but also runs a base in Banbury, England, and a design office in Maranello, right next to Ferrari. That connection gives them access to Ferrari engines, gearboxes and wind tunnel data. For years, Guenther Steiner was the face of Haas. His fiery personality and brutal honesty made him a fan favourite, especially after Drive to Survive. But in 2024, Steiner was replaced by Ayao Komatsu as team principal, and that signalled a quieter, more engineering-focused approach. Heading into 2025, the team's lineup got a shake-up. Nico Hülkenberg and Kevin Magnussen left, replaced by Esteban Ocon from Alpine and rookie Oliver Bearman, Ferrari's promising young talent. Their start to the season was rocky, struggling in Melbourne, but China gave them a spark of hope. Ocon finished P7 and Bearman P10, later promoted to P5 and P8 after post-race disqualifications. That result marked Haas's first double points finish in a long time. For a team that's constantly fighting budget caps, limited resources, and the giants of F1, it was proof that the American underdog still has some fight left in it. McLaren. Even non-fans of Formula One know of this team. I mean, why wouldn't they? We're talking about one of F1's most iconic names, fast, sharp, and built on racing DNA. Founded in 1963 by New Zealander Bruce McLaren, the team started small but quickly made noise, winning its first Grand Prix in 1968. Through the late 60s and early 70s, McLaren dominated the Can-Am series and even took victories at the Indianapolis 500. After Bruce's death in 1970, Teddy Mayer took over and led McLaren to its first F1 titles with Emerson Fittipaldi and James Hunt in the mid-1970s. The real golden era came in the 1980s and early 90s under Ron Dennis. With Alain Prost, Ayrton Senna, Niki Lauda and Honda engines, McLaren ruled Formula One, winning 7 drivers and 6 constructors' championships. The Senna-Prost rivalry became one of the most legendary stories in motorsport. After Honda left, McLaren partnered with Mercedes and struck gold again with Mika Hakkinen, who won back-to-back titles in 1998 and 1999. The team stayed competitive through the 2000s, claiming Lewis Hamilton's first championship in 2008. But things dipped when they reunited with Honda in 2015. The partnership failed to deliver. McLaren switched to Renault in 2018, then back to Mercedes in 2021. That move paid off. In 2024, McLaren won its first Constructors' Championship since 1998. Today, under CEO Zak Brown, McLaren is back in the spotlight with Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri, a young, hungry lineup pushing one of F1's oldest names firmly into its next golden age. Mercedes AMG Petronas. Known as the Silver Arrows, Mercedes first entered Formula One in 1954 and immediately dominated. Juan Manuel Fangio won back-to-back titles in 1954 and 1955 before the team withdrew from motorsport after the tragic Le Mans disaster. That early exit froze their F1 story for decades. They came back in 1994 as an engine supplier through a partnership with Ilmor, powering Sauber and then McLaren. Together, they won championships with Mika Hakkinen and Lewis Hamilton. But the real transformation came in 2010 when Mercedes bought the Brawn GP team, fresh off winning both titles, and rebranded it as Mercedes AMG Petronas. What followed was pure domination. From 2014 to 2021, Mercedes crushed the hybrid era, 8 Constructors' Championships, 7 Drivers' titles, and an era defined by Lewis Hamilton and Toto Wolff's leadership. The car was fast, reliable, and untouchable. That run made them one of the most successful teams in F1 history. In 2022, Ineos joined as an equal partner with Toto Wolff and Mercedes-Benz Group, locking in long-term stability. But by 2024, a major shift hit. Hamilton announced he'd be leaving for Ferrari in 2025. His replacement was rising star Kimi Antonelli, a Mercedes junior groomed for the big stage. Now based in Brackley, with engines from Brixworth, Mercedes is entering a new chapter, the Silver Arrows rebuilding their next dynasty from the ground up. Red Bull Racing. This team went from being the paddock's party brand to one of the most dominant forces in F1 history. Formed in 2005 after Red Bull bought Jaguar Racing, the team is based in Milton Keynes, UK, but competes under an Austrian licence. Christian Horner led the operation from day one, turning an energy drink brand into a racing powerhouse before stepping down in 2025, with Laurent Mekies taking over. In its early years, Red Bull bounced between engine suppliers, Cosworth in 2005, Ferrari in 2006, then Renault from 2007 to 2018. It was the Renault era that made them legends. With Adrian Newey's aerodynamic genius and Sebastian Vettel's precision, Red Bull won 4 straight drivers' and constructors' titles from 2010 to 2013. After the Renault partnership soured, Red Bull switched to Honda Power in 2019, a move that paid off massively. Max Verstappen led the team into a new era, winning the 2021 Drivers' Championship and then 3 more in a row through 2024. Red Bull took the constructors' crowns in 2022 and 2023, narrowly losing out to McLaren in 2024. Though Honda officially left after 2021, their engines continue under Red Bull powertrains until 2025. With a new wind tunnel opening in 2026 and Adrian Newey still calling the aerodynamic shots, Red Bull remains one of the sharpest, most efficient and most feared teams on the grid. Sauber F1 team. Sauber Motorsport AG, now competing as Stake F1 team Kick Sauber, is a Swiss motorsport engineering team founded by Peter Sauber in 1970. Starting out by building sports cars for hill climbs and endurance races, the team became a major force in the World Sports Car Championship, winning 2 world titles and the 1989 24 Hours of Le Mans with Mercedes-Benz. When Group C racing ended, Sauber made the leap to Formula 1 in 1993, initially backed by Mercedes engines. After brief partnerships with Ford and then Ferrari, Sauber established itself as a respected independent team before being acquired by BMW in 2005. As BMW Sauber, the team reached its peak, with Robert Kubica taking their only F1 victory at the 2008 Canadian Grand Prix and finishing second in that year's Constructors' Championship. The 2008 financial crisis ended BMW's run, and Peter Sauber bought the team back for just €1. Through the 2010s, Sauber ran Ferrari engines and eventually came under the ownership of Finn Rausing. Their Alfa Romeo partnership from 2018 to 2023 revived the brand's prestige and tightened ties with Ferrari. Then came a new chapter, Audi's full takeover. After acquiring 100% of Sauber in 2024 for €600 million, Audi confirmed that from 2026 the team will officially become the Audi Factory F1 team, marking the brand's entry into Formula 1. Operations will remain in Hinwil, Switzerland, while engine development happens in Neuburg, Germany, supported by a new tech hub in Bicester, UK. Ferrari. Scuderia Ferrari, officially racing as Scuderia Ferrari HP, is the Formula 1 team of the Italian carmaker Ferrari. Based in Maranello, it's the oldest and most successful team in Formula 1, having competed in every world championship since 1950. The team was founded by Enzo Ferrari in 1929, originally to race Alfa Romeos. By 1947, Ferrari began building its own cars and entered Formula 1 3 years later. Ferrari has built its legacy on dominance and longevity. They hold a record 16 Constructors' Championships and 15 Drivers' titles, claimed by legends like Ascari, Fangio, Lauda, Schumacher and Raikkonen. Their golden age came in the early 2000s under Jean Todt, Ross Brawn and Michael Schumacher, when Ferrari won 5 straight Drivers' titles and 6 Constructors' crowns between 1999 and 2004. Even the team's fanbase, known as the Tifosi, are some of the most passionate supporters in motorsport, turning Monza into a Red Sea every year. Ferrari's last driver's title came in 2007 with Kimi Raikkonen, and their last constructor's title in 2008. After years of chasing form, they're hoping 2025 marks a new era with Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton behind the wheel. Racing Bulls. Racing Bulls, officially competing as Visa Cash App Racing Bulls F1 team, is an Italian Formula 1 constructor owned by Red Bull GmbH. Based in Faenza, with a satellite base in Milton Keynes, the team acts as the sister squad to Red Bull Racing. It has gone through several names: Scuderia Toro Rosso, 2006 to 2019, AlphaTauri, 2020 to 2023, then simply RB in 2024, before rebranding again to Racing Bulls in 2025. The team started in 2006 when Red Bull bought the struggling Minardi outfit to create a junior platform for its rising drivers. Under Franz Tost and Gerhard Berger, Toro Rosso became the first step in Red Bull's driver development ladder. The early years were quiet until Sebastian Vettel shocked the world with a win at the 2008 Italian Grand Prix, giving the team its first and only victory to date. After Berger sold his shares back to Red Bull in 2008, the team continued independently, often sharing design concepts and technology with Red Bull Racing. Over the years, it's helped launch multiple F1 careers, from Vettel to Ricciardo, Verstappen and Gasly. In its current form, Racing Bulls entered 2025 under CEO Peter Bayer and team principal Alan Perman. After a chaotic driver shuffle, Liam Lawson and Isaac Hadjar now lead the team. Their first podium as Racing Bulls came at the 2025 Dutch Grand Prix, a clear sign that Red Bull's junior team still has bite. Williams Racing, officially known as Atlassian Williams Racing, is a British Formula One team based in Grove, Oxfordshire. Founded in 1977 by Sir Frank Williams and Patrick Head, the team rose from a modest setup into one of F1's most decorated outfits. Their first car debuted at the 1977 Spanish Grand Prix, and just 2 years later, Clay Regazzoni gave them their first win at Silverstone. From there, Williams became a powerhouse through the 80s and 90s, winning 9 Constructors' Championships and 7 Drivers' titles with legends like Alan Jones, Keke Rosberg, Nelson Piquet, Nigel Mansell, Alain Prost, Damon Hill and Jacques Villeneuve. Their partnership with Renault powered most of those victories, defining an era when the blue and yellow cars were the standard of dominance. Williams hit 100 wins in 1997, joining an elite group alongside Ferrari, McLaren, Mercedes and Red Bull. But as Formula One modernized, the team struggled to keep up financially and technically. In 2020, after decades at the helm, the Williams family sold the team to Doralton Capital, marking the end of an era and the start of a rebuild. Now led by James Vowles, Williams has been climbing back. In 2023, they rose to 7th in the standings, and in 2024, rookie Franco Colapinto impressed after stepping in mid-season. For 2025, the team pairs Carlos Sainz with Alex Albon, hoping to push Williams back toward the front, where it once ruled. Which team are you a fan of? Let us know in your comments and subscribe to get notified of the next video.